Hello traders and welcome to today's webinar with Stage 5 Trading and Sierra Chart, where we will be introducing the new Sierra Chart Teton order routing. My name is Anthony Giacomin with Stage 5 Trading, and with us today we have Anthony from Sierra Chart.
Hi, Anthony. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here, and thank you for being here on a Saturday as well.
Sure thing.
All right, before we get started, it's just really important that we all understand and recognize and are comfortable with the risks associated with trading futures, especially because they are leveraged products. So let's go through this real quick. But honestly, make sure that you're comfortable with this because it is the fundamental foundations of your emotional strategies and capital. So it's very important.
Trading futures and options on futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition, circumstances, and industry knowledge. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions, market data, and recommendations are subject to change at any time. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stage 5 Trading Corporation is a member of NFA and is subject to NFA's regulatory oversight and examinations. During this presentation, we're going to be discussing the functionality of the Sierra Chart order routing system. It is important to note that the placement of contingent orders by you, or in this case the system, such as a stop loss or stop limit order, will not necessarily limit your losses to the intended amounts, since market conditions may make it impossible to execute such orders.
Now, Anthony, why don't you come in and start us off by going over a little bit more about what Sierra Chart Teton order routing is and the capabilities and functionalities of it.
Right. So the Teton Futures Order Routing Service, as we call it, is there to route orders to the CME group of exchanges. This includes the CME, CBOT, COMEX, and NYMEX, and also the Fair Exchange. We do support the Fair Exchange as well. And soon, in the next, sometime in the first or second quarter of 2022, we'll be supporting Eurex as well. So we're able to route orders directly to these futures exchanges without any intermediary provider. We can route outright futures, contracts, and spreads. Currently, we do not support options. And the order routing is very fast. Once an order is received by our system, we can get it to the exchange in less than 500 microseconds. So that's, half a millisecond.
And what's been your experience as you've tested the orders in terms of times?
What we have seen is we've seen speeds as low as about 300 microseconds. But that's kind of only that doesn't, we're measuring it, we're not quite measuring it at the time the order is, reaches the server, because there are certain timings in the network layer at the operating system level in our software. We can't really measure those timings, but we can kind of infer what those timings are based upon, when an order gets to this, the CME and back again. And we know that's quite fast. But typically, when we actually get when the order gets into our order routing software, it's about and gets over to the exchange. We estimate that can be as fast as 300 microseconds. But to be safe, let's just say 500 microseconds.
Perfect. Very good. Yes, and Teton is named after the highest point in the Teton Range in Grand Teton National Park. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Now, why did you choose that name?
Well, it fits the theme with Sierra Chart. I mean, Sierra is named, after, Sierra means like mountains, mountain ranges. And, we have a data feed called Denali that's named after Denali National Park in Alaska. So it just was continuing that theme. I just picked Teton, the Teton Mountains, because like you said, I mean, they're that is the highest point in the Teton Range, and
And they're beautiful.
it's a very pristine place, and it represents like strength and purity.
Very
And
cool.
Sierra Chart is, very, we consider it a very strong program in that it's very, very durable. It's very stable and durable. I mean, we always get very good comments on the stability of the software, and our code base is very, very clean. We don't use, I mean, we develop everything from scratch, and it's very fast and efficient. Certainly, there's always room for improvement, and we're always continuing to make improvements. But
Such Teton.
the code base is very, very clean and organized. No, it's not. There's not a lot of unnecessary. Well, I shouldn't say there's not a lot. There is no unnecessary code, at least to the extent that we can control that and recognize it. But we do always get very good comments on the speed and performance of Sierra Chart.
Yeah, in my experience, I've always felt the same way as well. So well done, and great work picking the names, especially Teton. I like it. Thank you. Okay, so put in here to stay tuned to learn about Stage 5's Teton Commission Special. It comes later in the presentation, guys, so stay around. It's specifically for this new offer to transfer over to Teton. So that's coming ahead. All right. So Ann, what are some of your order routing features?
Okay, well, I'll just go through this list here, then go on to some more items. It is very low latency. As I said, our timing, in our timing measurements, it's safe to say it's, when an order is received into our order routing process and goes out to the exchange, that will happen in less than 500 microseconds. So that is very fast, in my experience. The market data feed is provided by our well-established and proven Denali exchange data feed. We've had that for, I think more than 2 years now we've offered that. And that provides data from the CME group of exchanges and FairX and also Eurex and CBOE futures.
And that
soon we're going to,
limited depth as well, right?
yeah, the full market depth up to 1400 levels is provided. We're also going to be including, a stock data feed, NASDAQ data feed, if you want to follow stocks as well.
Yeah, well, that could actually even be good for building correlations
Right.
to that you're trading. So yeah, that would be
Absolutely, because we're going to be, it's our intention to be, also adding the, NASDAQ indices as well, so people can look at the cash index price of NASDAQ future of NASDAQ, like the NASDAQ 100 index.
Yeah,
when trading NQ futures. And yeah, it's all completely one platform. I mean, Sierra Chart, once you log into Sierra Chart and your trading account has been set up by your broker on the Teton order routing system, there's no additional username or password required. You just log into Sierra Chart and you're all set. And that is, as I said before, your broker does have to set up your trading account, but it's very easy.
That's pretty big for this day and age, because from the broker side, I think one of the areas I see a lot of confusion from traders is what is this software? What is the software? I have a broker, I have a clearing firm, I have software, I have a data feed, I have a order routing feed, and all these different logins. What do they all mean? How does it all work? And it really seems to be a cumbersome start to anyone getting going in the futures market. So being able to log into one account is a tremendous enhancement.
Right. Yeah, it does greatly simplify it. And, what we have learned, and this was the idea behind developing this Teton order routing service, is we've learned a lot over the years, over the decades, about the difficulties that our users experience with getting started with trading in the futures markets. And we want to provide the easiest possible experience they can have. Um, and you can comment on that, Anthony. What is your experience setting people up on Teton? I mean, and getting them, logged in.
Oh,
I mean,
it's extremely, I would say from our experience, it's been extremely carefree, easy, relaxed, and very little questions come back when we send over the account activation, and traders are starting to log in. I mean, most of them just log in and they're ready to go. Every once in a while, you'll get a question about um, downloading the Sierra Chart platform because or actually changing their Sierra Chart demo to a live account. But that's really the extent, at least in my opinion, of issues and questions that have come back. Whereas with the other setups, I can say that it's a little bit more cumbersome.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, when you mention installing Sierra Chart or downloading and installing it, that's very we designed that to be a simple process. And it's Sierra Chart is a portable application, which means it can be it's all self-contained and it's in the folder it is installed to on a computer system, and can just be copied and moved to another system very easily. It also can be installed with a simple zip file installer. So it's really very flexible what we've done. It's a really cool program.
No, it's great.
And
And in
I
fact,
think
I think probably it's better to say that the questions we have received have been more from demo users
Mhm,
who then had to sign up for their live Sierra account, which we just
mhm.
showed them how to sign up and create their live Sierra subscription, and off and running they were. So it's probably not downloading, but more of converting their demo to a live.
Right, and that's something that you would do on your side. You just would set up their trading account and then just simply change a setting in Sierra Chart to Teton from one of our market data only services or simulated service.
Exactly.
And then and then from there they would go to the edit menu in Sierra Chart and then translate the symbols, their existing symbols in their chart book they may have set up to the symbol format used by Teton. So if they're coming from other order routing systems that Sierra Chart currently works with, it's very easy to migrate. It's just one simple menu command to convert the symbols, and then you just change.
So they
Uh,
basically will just, let's say they're a Transact user and they're currently mapped with the Transact symbols. Then when they switch over to Teton, they'll have to just choose, instead of the Transact symbol mapping, the Teton symbol mapping.
yeah, they just open up their existing chart book
Right.
and then go to the, well, first they would set Sierra Chart to use the Teton service. They would go to, um, into one of our settings windows. And just change the service to Teton and click OK. And then they go to the edit menu and then select, well, first they open their chart, but then they would open their chart book if it's not already open. And then they go to the edit menu and select translate symbols to the current service, which would, in this case would be Teton. And then the symbols are all converted automatically. And that includes symbols on the quote board and quote boards and any alerts they've set up.
Yeah, that sounds pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay, good.
And I can go on and talk about server-side OCO orders and the bracket orders and trailing stops and all that.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And they're very important pieces of
Right.
functionality. So
So one thing that we've learned, over the years, Sierra Chart has handled order routing since approximately 2006 or so, somewhere in that territory. Um, we've learned an awful lot about what issues, customers face when using other order routing systems, what kind of issues they encounter. And we worked, over the years to really perfect, order, management. to work to consider every possible small detail and to really work as flawlessly as possible. So the OCO orders with Teton are managed on the server. So OCO means order canceled. Order cancels order. There's two scenarios, typical scenarios you can have. You could use an OCO order to enter the market. You may have like a buy limit order below the market and a buy stop order above the market. So, if the market moves in either direction, you enter the market. And then when one of those orders fills, the other is automatically canceled. That automatic canceling of the order is managed on the server.
So server, what server?
Well, this would be a server in the Aurora data center co-located with the CME. So we can respond to an order fill, in less than a millisecond and then cancel the other side of the OCO. So that is,
Right. So
compare that.
not client's local computer.
Right, exactly. So whereas if that were managed on the local computer, the client's computer, the trader's computer, that 1 millisecond could be maybe 100 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds, or even worse, depending upon the load of processing on their computer and other programs they're running, and maybe and also the load within Sierra Chart if they have complex chart setups that can cause delays. It's conceivable that it could even take, depending upon load, maybe even a second.
More importantly, I think the bigger issue from the client side, OCO is if client's computer goes into sleep mode, they lose connection, they turn their computer off. Those OCOs on certain platforms, or at least from my experience, they would stop being connected and attached. They'd still be in the market as two independent individual orders, one limit order and one stop order. But if the limit or stop was filled, the other one wouldn't be canceled, and that can be bad, especially if they're not paying attention and leaves an order in the market. So server side is real nice, very good.
Right, that's exactly true. And that was another point I was going to get to. Yeah, if they lose their internet connectivity, and the OCO was managed locally on the client side, it would not function. So managing it on the server side, co-located with the exchange, is very reliable, and it's handled, extremely fast by comparison.
That's great.
And in the case of when an OCO order is associated with a parent order, that would be called that all three orders would be called that would be called a bracket order. You'd have a parent order, then you have an OCO bracket order. So that whole set of orders, we often refer to it as a bracket order. In that case, when one of the orders, if it fills partially, the other order has its quantity reduced in proportion. So if you have a 5-lot target order, let's say a target order which is surrounding like a position, and let's say it fills partially, let's say to a quantity of 2, then on the other side of the OCO, the stop order would have its quantity reduced to 3. And that's all happening also in a low latency environment, very fast. All these adjustments, happen within a millisecond.
Nice.
So, and once again, these bracket orders are also trouble-free and properly managed on the server side. We have learned, a lot about, various small little limitations that other order routing systems, have in this regard. And these are all problems that we have solved with Sierra Chart managed OCO and bracket orders. And with Teton, they're managed on the server side, and they've proven to have worked, very, very well. So let's see. Yeah. So and this makes the order entry, that is the management of the order after the order entry. It makes it very safe. If you lose your internet, there's not a problem with the stop order not having there's not a problem with the stop not being sent, or with the the relationship between the stop and the target order. Like I said, when one partially fills, the other has to be adjusted down in proportion. Same thing even when the parent order fills. I mean, they have to be, the quantity of the the target and stop have to be increased in quantity as the parent order fills, if it fills in multiple, if it has multiple partial fills, and all of that is handled in a low latency environment.
So if I'm working a buy order for 5 with a bracket order waiting to be sent around it, and I get filled with 2 contracts, then it will send the bracket sell stop and sell limit for 2, and then I get filled with 1 more. It will change those 2s to 3s. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Beautiful.
And that's all managed, on the server co-located with the exchange. So it's very fast, within a millisecond. And also with server managed bracket orders, when the market is moving fast, there is a greatly reduced possibility the stop order will be rejected. If the stop order were rejected, it would leave the position unprotected. And there's no way to, like with some of our other order management, the other order like routing or order management systems that Sierra Chart has worked with, some of these, do, not all, but some of them do offer server managed OCO orders and bracket orders, but we have just found almost universally that they're just little things that just don't always work as the trader would expect, and Sierra Chart has options to disable the use of the server managed OCO orders or server managed bracket orders. And sometimes people, and with like our Teton order routing service, because these orders have proven to be so reliable, these settings which disable the use of server-side OCO or bracket orders, those settings are just ignored and these orders are always enabled. So there's never a risk that, an incorrect setting in Sierra Chart is going to leave you with like a situation where your orders are not working on our server. Like you may put a buy order in like to enter the market, and then there's a target and a stop, and then you just turn off your computer or shut down Sierra Chart. And with other order management systems, if they don't support server-side orders or you've turned off the option to use their server-side orders, then the target and stop order is never going to get sent once your parent order fills. And with Teton, you're always guaranteed, because of just how the software is designed, you're always going to be getting the target, the child orders, that is a target and stop, are always sent along with the parent, so they're always on our server. They're working.
Yeah, at least everything that we've seen so far is how it works. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And we talked about the loss of internet connectivity and why it's important to have these types of orders managed on the server.
Yep.
And like I said, we have a lot of experience with other services, and little details on how these types of orders don't really work exactly as the trader would expect.
Nuances?
Little nuances, and we've solved all of those with Teton.
Yeah, or at least you solved as many as you've seen. There's probably going to be more that to show up, which I think you'll then solve those even further as you continue to enhance this.
Possibly, but I haven't seen any more. I mean, in my experience, we've covered all the possibilities and all the scenarios we've seen. Of course, there are certain market actions that can lead to perhaps a stop order getting rejected.
Yeah, like the market moves too quick, and
then the market is moving too quickly, right?
Yeah.
But that's the possibility of that is greatly minimized when these orders are managed on the server and they can be sent so fast to the exchange, like within a millisecond.
Yeah, I guess it would just depend on if someone had a super tight stop on their order and it was a flash crash scenario and the market moves through the stop price and just gets rejected by a invalid price. So yeah, that's
right.
it's a really great ability to have it server side and running that quick.
Right. And trailing stop orders are supported just as well, with all the other, as we do with other order management systems. Trailing stop orders are still managed on the client side. We have not implemented server-side trailing stops. There's so many different types of, there's a lot of management of stops. There's a lot of sophistication to that, and we've just still left that on the client side of Sierra Chart. But still, the stop order will be working at the exchange, protecting the position.
But the logic to trail the stop, so cancel, replace, and move it up behind the market, now that would be running on the client side.
Correct. There's a lot of sophistication to that. I mean, they can even base that on studies, and that's why it's still managed on the client side.
Got it. That's interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, I can talk about the account balance fields within the account.
I think that was kind of put in. It kind of seems silly, but I think it was put in here because when we were working on the Sierra TT order routing, the account balances weren't populating in the platform, and so we were getting a lot of inquiries about that.
Right. Yeah, we've solved that with our Teton order routing. So within Sierra Chart, there is, actually, I can just go look at that. So there is what we call our trade account monitor, where, it shows the account and the cash balance and the available funds for new positions or excess margin and the current margin requirement and many other fields. So those fields are, they update, on the client side, every 2 seconds. They're transmitted from the server. They're immediately calculated as needed. And yeah, I mean, there's no delays. There's effectively no delays with, seeing your net liquidating value, update within Sierra Chart. That's calculated using real-time data. You can see some of the other fields are account currency, the open position profit loss, the daily profit loss. If your broker has set a daily loss limit, that field can be seen. There's also an indication if your account is under the required margin, if your trading, has been disabled on your account, if the daily loss limit has been reached, if you're under the minimum account value, the date time of the last cash balance adjustment. There's various, ratios, net liquidating value to margin, the full margin requirement, because brokers may give you a discounted margin, and then you can still see what the full exchange margin is. You can see what the margin is for your positions, and that would exclude orders, working orders. You can see the ratio of the net liquidating value to the margin required for the position, and also the peak margin requirement during the day.
Very nice. Are you able to see the margin usage to net liquidating value ratio?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and that's something that, yeah, that's something that, the same thing that all the data that a risk manager would see is the same data that a Sierra Chart user is able to see on their account.
Which is extremely helpful in my opinion, because traders might not know what is being seen and what a risk manager is looking at. And this helps make the information transparent and hopefully empowers the trader to better manage their account and their position.
Yeah.
That's good.
And for those Sierra Chart users who are familiar with our simulated futures trading service, on that service, you have the ability to create a trading account and, adjust all the risk parameters. And that interface you're using is the very same interface that the brokers and clearing firms use for Teton. And one thing that we intend to do is to also give you access, read-only access to that interface for your account, so you can see exactly how your account is actually configured. You can see all the symbols that you're allowed to trade, the position limits. You can actually see on our server the internal, a lot of the internal state variables that are used for risk management. You can actually monitor all of those. And it really gives you a really neat inside view of the whole system. And in my opinion, it's really quite impressive what you can see. And it really, the more information the trader, I think the more information the trader has about their account, and they can see how everything works and that everything is well documented. It
Empowers them.
yeah, it empowers them. And if there's anything not configured right, they could say, well, they could tell their broker, this doesn't look right. Why is this set the way it is? And
Yeah.
that helps
Which
catch
happens,
any.
what happens a lot when you're setting up accounts, like there can be something that a clearing firm does that um, doesn't set it up properly. Well, we don't want it to be an issue after the fact.
Mhm.
We don't while you're trading. It's better if you see all the information, identify it, let the broker know, and then have them resolve it for you.
Right. And if I may take a moment, one really neat thing about this order routing system is you also, if you want to like give the ability to um, for someone else to just monitor your trading, to see your trading literally in real time as you submit orders, as you modify orders, you have the ability to provide other Sierra Chart users read-only real-time access to your account. Um, that would be something that your broker would have to set. But once we could get permission to let traders just configure that themselves. I mean, read-only access should not create any additional
So
risk. But
are you saying that I can allow my buddy to have like a read-only copy of my account so that he or she can work with me in my trades, or
yeah, they can follow along and they
okay,
can
that's cool.
collaborate with you, and they wouldn't be able to trade your account
Right.
unless, I mean, we do that capability does exist. I mean, but I mean, that would be something the broker would have to authorize. But yeah, and it allows a whole collaborative environment for Sierra Chart users. And this leads me to the next thought about of you know we're we're developing in the process of releasing the ability for users, Sierra Chart users, to directly chat with each other from within Sierra Chart. And we're going to provide more collaboration capability. And it's a whole exciting area, and that's um, it's really exciting because we want the whole process of trading and investing to be a collaborative, or to if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But we want to try to have it more be more collaborative and community, have like a more community oriented is I think what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I think that's what a lot of traders are looking for when they're out there. I believe that they feel alone. They're trading at home. It's lonely. They don't have the prop shop environment with a bunch of traders around them, which
mhm,
leaves them without the ability to learn, the ability to communicate, the ability to take ideas, and having that built in to see what other traders that they're permission to see and to chat with them. I mean, that creates a virtual prop environment,
mhm.
and it's really exciting. I mean, I think that traders are really going to love that,
Yes, we sure hope so. Yeah,
and I hope it, and I believe it will help them become better.
right. That's the idea. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
to provide more, if they wish, I mean, to have the collaboration tools, to collaborate with other traders and the support of the community. And we're developing all that within Sierra Chart. And with Teton, we can do a lot of cool things like allow people to share their trading activity, their results with with the user base, or whoever they want, individually or with the entire user base. They can show their trade statistics. And these are the cool things that we can do with Teton.
That is nice. So there's tremendous amount of functionality that we're talking about here. And now
Right,
it says no additional cost. Well,
right. There's no cost. There's no cost for Teton. There's no per contract fee like you may find with other order routing systems, which may be built into a commission. So we've just have designed all of our processes to be very efficient and very, very stable. And we were able to achieve that, able to achieve a zero cost result.
That's pretty incredible, because a lot of feeds that clients are using, at least now, I think they're 10 cents a contract, which, especially if you're trading micros, that can really add up. 10 cents a contract. Some have a monthly minimum that you have to reach, or a flat fee just to even have the API connection. So if this is included with your original Sierra chart subscription, then that should lower the cost tremendously. I mean, for the trader, that's great.
Yes, yes. And Sierra Chart is already provided at a very, very competitive price.
I think it's one of the lower cost vendors out there.
Yeah, and there's also, let me just go over some other features here. So I talked about our Denali data feed. That this is an established data feed, providing data directly from the exchanges. That's what provides the market data when using Teton. And you have full market depth data. You have about 10 years of tick-by-tick history for the major markets. You have high-speed, very reliable high-speed historical data. You can have multiple simultaneous connections to our trading server. No longer are you going to get limited by one connection like you do with other providers. You can just connect hopefully you wouldn't connect 100 times, but theoretically you can. You are limited on market data connections based upon exchange rules, and there's, that's talked about in our Denali data feed page on the Sierra Chart website. But trading connections, there is no limit. If the trading connection were to be lost and there's a reconnection, this does not disrupt or affect the market data feed connection. Likewise, when there is a lost connection with the market data and a reconnection, this does not disrupt or affect the trading connection. Both connections are fully independent of each other. And this is something very unique among the different services, external order routing services and data feeds Sierra Chart works with. So this is another advantage of Teton. We have triple redundant internet connectivity to the order routing server.
Oh, okay.
Supported by 3 different ISPs.
There we go. So redundancy.
We are co-located with the exchange in the Aurora data center with fully redundant power. We have redundant servers. Our order routing servers and market data servers are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have, like I said, we've learned a lot about the problems and limitations, the Sierra Chart users have faced with other external services, order routing services, market data services. So that's why we built our own. This service, this Teton service also supports the avoidance of a situation where when modifying the price of an order on the client side, which would happen in the case of trailing stop orders, where this order has a new quantity still in transmission to Sierra Chart from the server due to bracket order management, the quantity on the server is maintained rather than getting overridden by an old quantity from the client side. This solves a condition which we have seen sometimes over the years with other order routing systems, which can result in an incorrect final order quantity for a child order. So once again, we look at the problems that exist with other systems and we implement solutions.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever encountered that one, but it sounds not good. So that's nice to hear.
Yeah, we've seen it. I mean, we do get asked a lot of questions, and we do see little things like this. Not very often. It's rare, but we see them. And this is just not something we disregard at Sierra Chart. We look at it, we think about it. What can we do to solve it? And once again, that's why we developed Teton. This gives us full control over the whole order routing process to the exchange. and we can implement, proper durable solutions for any issues. Iceberg orders are supported. You can control the maximum show quantity that shows up in the limit order book for a limit order. Um, we do support, we do have support for auto liquidation when the daily loss limit has been reached.
And that would be dollar based and percentage based.
Yeah, percent of account balance or percent of net liquidating value. That is correct.
So like the start of day balance.
Uh,
The start of day.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes, the
what?
start of day account, the start of day net liquidating value, or if you've set the percentage during the day or changed it, it'll recalculate
Got it. Perfect.
based on the net liquidating value at that point in time.
And could I also select, I want to limit myself for myself as a trader. Can I, as I continue to and try to become better, can I limit myself to like a $500 loss limit?
Yes, that's intended to be added. We're going to add that capability. Once that relates to what I spoke to earlier about giving user access to the read-only access to the trade account settings, and then we'll give them the ability to change like a secondary daily loss limit. And it's also our intention to also add, the ability to close out positions, when a profit target has been reached for the account.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was always one, or that's been one that I've heard that throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
If I reach this amount, can it basically lock me out, prevent me?
Yeah, and another feature we've seen, another problem we've seen with risk management and other systems is sometimes when users close out their position, the market order gets rejected due to position limits, due to margin violations. We've seen situations where when we submit a target order and a stop order to protect a position after the parent order has filled, that's a bracket order that also these orders get rejected due to margin violations. We've worked to solve these issues, with a proper calculation of the required margin based upon the risk profile of all the orders and positions. So these are, rejections that in our testing just will not occur.
That's nice.
And that's a huge improvement. I mean, we just get, we hear about those things from time to time with other order systems, and they should just not occur. They really should just not occur. This is not difficult to implement a proper solution to these. And this has all been extensively tested by us. And Anthony, you've worked with us, on testing, and we don't. These kind of problems just simply do not occur with Teton order routing.
Been through a lot of testing, and I mean, when did we start working on this? 6 months ago?
I think more than that. I mean, we've been.
Or maybe that's when I got more.
Yeah, maybe more than that. I mean, there was one provider that we worked with that had some, interruptions and had some malfunctions with risk management, and we really accelerated the process of getting Teton out as soon as possible. But when I say accelerated the process, we still did everything right and took our time. And it was still another 6 months, but, that we finally were at a point where we had a very, what we knew to be a very reliable, stable order routing system. And you can speak to that, Anthony. I mean, you've got, you can tell us how many, if you can, I mean, how many accounts are there and what user feedback has been.
And I think I think there's over 100 and maybe 150, around 150 accounts, clients trading on Teton now. And basically from our experience, it's extremely quiet, meaning that our clients are trading without or without telling us, without issues. It's surprisingly quiet, and it's kind of interesting and refreshing. I wasn't expecting it, but it's just fascinating. That this whole project has been fascinating to me, just watching the evolution and preciseness of everything. So it's a really great product, and working on this project with you, Anthony, has been tremendous, and I thank you for that opportunity.
Yes, I agree. And yeah, well,
So we got
let's go
redundancy.
with, let's continue, and then we can,
So infrastructure,
um,
because I think we got the redundancy. Oop.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we did talk about some of the redundancy and infrastructure. Um, we
Web-based
do.
trading panel.
Oh, right. We do have a web-based trading panel that can also be used on a mobile phone to enter orders and monitor positions and your account balance. And yeah, you can submit orders, you can modify orders, you can cancel orders, you can see your positions, all your account balance fields, or not all of them that you see in Sierra Chart, but the most critical ones. You can, yeah, and we're going to add market data support to that as well, so you can see the current market prices, although that might be delayed data, but I think we can add support for real-time data there as well, but there's going to
Yeah,
be, there's just with market data rules that can be a little difficult. I mean, if you have a connection somewhere else, but I guess we'll give customers the ability to choose between delayed or real-time data. We do have 10 gigabit connections to the CME, 2 connections, what they call A and B connections, at our server in Aurora, um, and
I think we
yeah,
already
we have
spoke.
triple redundant internet connectivity. Yeah, we do connect directly to the CME for order routing. There's no intermediary provider. And I talked about the intelligent risk management.
Yeah, very good. So then infrastructure. Oh, the 10 gigabit cross
Yep.
connect.
And we do have a backup server in Equinix Surmac data center, which receives a real-time copy of everything happening with our server in Aurora. So we can fail over in a matter of minutes if necessary.
Right.
We talked about auto liquidation. That's coming, or that's been released, but it's still kind of
Rolling out. It's being rolled out.
just we're in the process of rolling it out, right? And UX order routing, that's in development.
All right, great. This brings us. So why are we here? First of all, I think it's a tremendous product, a tremendous project to work on. Anthony and I have known each other now, I think, since maybe 2009, 2008, when I was at Infinity, where we were working with the Transact feed and Sierra. So we've known each other for a very long time, and our focus and intention on providing traders and individuals with the best possible services and value around has been uniquely similar. And I feel that we've worked in parallel all these years. Um, it For us, it's all about providing traders with what we think is the best for them, giving them the best value, lowest cost, best services, best software. And this is why we're here. And again, I thank you, Anthony, for involving us in this project. Stage 5 is a independent introducing broker that works with many different clearing firms, and we've been around since 2012. What's nice about our Teton solution at Advantage, which is a clearing firm, is that we run Teton directly in-house. That means that the Stage 5 team is handling your platform setups, your platform issues, changes, etc. So if there's issues, you contact us, we can handle it for you straight away. Anthony was mentioning the dashboard, and if something didn't look right, so you can contact us, we can handle it internally without having to involve an FCM. So it eliminates that link in the chain, and hopefully provides, I believe it does provide traders with faster, more complete service. It's really a great feature. I think that most traders would really like. So that's real nice. But we can offer Teton through other clearing firms like Dorman Trading. I think we're working with Iron Beam as well. At those firms, we handle the platform and set up the FCMs. The clearing firms will themselves will be handling the platform. So the client will reach out to us, trader will reach out to us, we'll then involve the FCM. So it's like a normal relationship, but it's available. Again, I just think that the ability to handle it in-house is superior for the traders. Yeah, and we've been working with Anthony and Teton since the early stages and have been able to experience this quality and stability and overall value. And we're just super excited to introduce it to our client base and give them the opportunity to move over to this great solution that is extremely low cost. And because of how excited we are about it, we're coming to the table with a commission special for traders moving over to Teton. And that will be 45 cents a contract. This will be plus exchange and NFA fees. Again, there's no transaction fee as long as you have your Sierra chart subscription. Teton is included. You don't have to pay a 10-cent fee or a minimum per month fee. It's included. So we're trying to come in and parlay that and add to the low cost and really help traders take things to the next level with this what I believe is a low cost commission special at 45 cents a contract and then 20 cents a contract plus fees for the micros. Just when you're opening up your account, just mention to your broker about the discount so that we ensure that the rates are set up properly. Okay. And if you want to learn more, you can give us a call. You can email us at sierrachart@s55trading.com or just visit our website, stage5trading.com, and contact us through there. We're here. We have brokers available waiting to talk to you. So don't be shy. Hit us up and learn more and test it out. I think you're really going to like what you see.
And if I may take a moment, Anthony, I'd like to talk about, some to our customers who are using some of the other order routing systems out there. So in an effort to continue to enhance and provide traders with the software and functionality enhancements they are looking for and work reliably, we believe it is best to be focusing our attention on a primary order routing method rather than many. So in that regard, our customers who are using Transact, CTS, and Gain Capital, we're going to begin a process of gradually phasing these services out. So, if you're using one of those systems, we provide Teton. The system that you need to move to is Teton. So, and Stage 5 will provide you, what you need to do to transition to Teton. So contact them in this regard, and we do appreciate your support in this regard. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anthony. And I think by focusing on a primary solution rather than 50 different order routing solutions, that should help you focus on what is most important, which is the enhancements, the functionality of Sierra. And I think that is what makes this project so exciting, because it's going to free up operational overhead on your side to do what traders are looking for and provide them with more feature enhancements versus keeping your support going with other feeds. You mentioned Transact. I know they're Ninja. I think they're Ninja now. And someone told me that they can't use Transact, maybe the Dome. I'm not even sure about Sierra, but yeah, it seems like it's great timing for that. Yeah, and this will allow you to hopefully continue to focus and enhance your product, and that's what traders are looking for. So thank you so much for this.
Yes, and in particular, Transact users, we want to provide them the most reliable order routing, and like I said, we've learned a lot about other order routing systems, and we've solved the problems that we've seen with, um, with other systems. We've solved them through the Teton service. So if you're with Transact, we are going to be phasing that service out, and you do need to move to Teton to continue to trade on Sierra Chart. We're happy for your support, and Stage 5 can help you with the transition from Transact. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Anthony. And yeah, if you're like we said, looking to learn more, or wanting to transition, we'll walk you through that whole process, one-on-one, no problem. It's pretty seamless. So reach out to us. We're here to help. Anthony, thank you very much for building this product, taking your time out of the day to help share the features and enhancements with traders. We really appreciate it.
Sure thing. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.